On every NBA team, each player in the roster knows their role and what they can bring to their respective teams. Of course, each team has their own superstar, a bunch of role players to complete the ace players, and then there's the group of guys who just sit on the bench cheering and give out high fives during timeouts. Today, we're going to look at some of the historically and statistically bad players that have ever played in the NBA. Watch till the end of the video to find out which player shot a miserable 20% from the free throw line. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our awesome NBA videos. Number 10. Rafael Araujo. After successfully picking Chris Bosh in the previous draft, the Raptors were looking to bolster their front court by adding another big man to be paired with their new star in the 2004 draft, which turned out to be the former BYU star Rafael Araujo. In case you were curious about the 04 draft, this is the talent pool that Dwight Howard came out of, while former Finals MVP Andre Iguodala was picked 9th, just one pick after Araujo. Despite being a starter for half the season he played, Araujo just sucked at being a reliable big man, averaging only a total of 5.9 rebounds in 2 seasons with the Raptors, along with a measly scoring production of 5.6 points per game in those 2 years. His career went from bad to worse, and Araujo played fewer minutes as a member of the Utah Jazz, where he averaged 8.9 minutes a game, grabbing 2.4 boards and putting up 2.6 points an outing. After the dismal season with the Jazz, no one in the league wanted to pick up the 6'11 big man, and soon after that, Araujo left the NBA to try his luck playing in various leagues overseas, where he would eventually find success in his hometown of Brazil, where he won a championship in 2009. Number 9. Darko Milicic. If you were one of the front office guys for the Pistons in the 2003 draft, there's absolutely no way you could screw this up. I mean, the draft was stacked with future Hall of Famers and All-Stars like Chris Kaman, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, and LBJ. But the Pistons had other things in their mind and made a head-scratcher of a decision by choosing a 7-foot, bleached-haired suburban named Darko Milicic at number 2. Though LeBron was a surefire number 1 pick, they had the chance to pick Melo, but chose not to since they already had Tayshaun Prince at the forward spot. Anyway, Milicic was bad on the court, like horrendously bad. He only played a total of 34 games in his rookie season and only averaged 1.4 points and 1.3 rebounds per game. But hey, at least he got a ring in his first year while averaging more high fives and back taps than points. He would then go on to become a journeyman while averaging less than 10 points per game, playing for Orlando, Memphis, New York, and Minnesota before wrapping it up in Boston. Number 8. Sam Bowie. At number 8, we got almost the same scenario as the previous guy on the list in Sam Bowie. During the 1984 draft, the Portland Trail Blazers had the number 2 pick overall. Hakeem Olajuwon was already selected as the number 1, as a lot of people would expect. Since the Blazers already picked Clyde Drexler in the previous draft, the decision of picking another wingman or shooting guard was already out of the window. Instead, the Blazers went big and selected the lanky 7'1" center out of Kentucky named Sam Bowie. Do you know who the Blazers skipped? Just a random 6'6" dude that goes by the name of Michael Jeffrey freaking Jordan, who the Bulls picked at number 3. And if that doesn't make your head shake, the Blazers still had a chance to either pick Charles Barkley or John Stockton, who were both picked in the latter half of the draft. Yeah, I bet that this one stings more than just a little bit for the Blazers. Bowie only played a total of 139 games in his first season in the league, and he was riddled with leg and knee injuries. Though Bowie did have a bit of a career resurgence midway playing for the New Jersey Nets, his body simply couldn't withstand the toll that the NBA requires, and he immediately retired after playing his 10th season in the league. Number 7. Robert Traylor. For someone who carried the nickname Tractor through his playing career, Robert Traylor should have been plowing the opposition when he got drafted 6th overall in the 1998 draft by the Mavericks. But before Traylor even played a single minute for the Mavs, he was quickly dealt to the Bucks for Pat Garrity, along with the 9th overall pick of that draft, which was Dirk Nowitzki. At 6'9" and weighing almost 300 pounds, Traylor struggled to keep up with the pace in the NBA, and his weight issues held him down and plagued him throughout his playing career. Traylor only averaged 4.8 points and 3.7 rebounds a game in 7 seasons playing in the league. On May 11, 2011, 6 years after he retired from the NBA, Robert Traylor died due to an apparent heart attack while taking a vacation in Puerto Rico. Despite not living up to his potential in the big leagues, Traylor did enjoy some success in his college days as he dominated the paint playing for the Michigan Wolverines. Number 6. Brian Scalabrine. We continue our list with the resident fan favorite Brian Scalabrine at number 6. I know most of you wouldn't agree with me on this one, because who doesn't love the White Mamba, right? But unfortunately, the stats don't lie, fellas. Coming off a solid season out of USC, where he led the team in scoring, rebounding, and field goal percentage, his potential to become a stretch 5 didn't materialize when he was drafted by the Nets as the 34th pick in the 2001 draft. Scalabrine didn't average more than 7 points in his 11 seasons in the NBA. He ended his career averaging 3.1 points per game, playing for the Nets, Celtics, and the Bulls. Despite being recognized as a bench warmer throughout his career, Scalabrine played hard and had some sort of cult following by being a serial fan favorite to a weird combination of his appearance and in-game hustle every time he was on the floor. Number 5, Luke Harangody. Luke Harangody was one of those power forwards who had a stellar collegiate career but failed to translate it to the NBA. He averaged a double-double in his sophomore season playing for Notre Dame to the tune of 20.4 points and 10.6 rebounds per game, and leveling it up a notch further in his junior year with an impressive 23.3 points and 11.8 rebounds stat line. But after being selected as the 52nd overall pick by the Celtics in 2010, things just went south for Harangody. With veteran bigs like Shaquille and Jermaine O'Neal, Kendrick Perkins, Simi Erden, and Nenad Kirstic loading up the front line of the Celtics, Harangody had a hard time finding minutes on the court, and he only managed to contribute 2.3 points while logging in 8.6 minutes a game. He played for another 2 years in the league after being traded to Cleveland, but things remained the same for Harangody, and he left the NBA just 2 years after entering the league. Number 4, Luke Walton. From Luke to another Luke. At number 4, we got a son of a legend. But unlike his father, Luke Walton failed miserably in the NBA in more ways than you can imagine. In his 9 seasons playing for the Purple and Gold, he averaged below 5 points per game while grabbing less than 3 boards an outing. Though he can knock down some three-pointers, Luke was slow on his feet and proved to be a huge liability on the defensive end. Regardless, Walton was able to grab back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010, despite playing a few minutes as a reverse role. Shortly after his playing career, Walton would win another championship, this time as an assistant coach for the Warriors, and now serves as head coach for the Sacramento Kings. Number 3, Hashim The Beat. In another series of draft day disasters, the Memphis Grizzlies took their chances on a 7'3" Tarzanian center out of Connecticut, Hashim The Beat. For those who want to refresh their memory of the 2009 draft, The Beat was picked ahead of James Harden, Tyreek Evans, Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, and the greatest shooter in NBA history, Steph Curry. The Beat struggled in 2 seasons with the Grizzlies and averaged 1.2 points and 1.7 rebounds in his final year with Memphis. His plummet would continue when he got dealt to the Rockets, where he played a total of 7 games in his 2 seasons with his new team before playing for Portland and eventually closing his short-lived NBA career in OKC in 2014. Just like other lanky men, knee injuries continue to be one of the major problems why The Beat hasn't lived up to his expected potential. Number 2, DeSagana Diop. If you're going to look up the worst free throw airballs in NBA history, there's a high probability that you're going to come across this guy. At number 2 on our list is a Senegalese big man out of high school named DeSagana Diop. Drafted as the 8th overall pick by the Cavs in 2001, Diop showed nothing, even a tidbit of his double-double brilliance playing for Oak Hill Academy in high school. He only appeared in 18 games in his rookie season, where he'd only averaged 1.4 points per game while shooting 20% from the free throw line, which is worse than Shaq's percentage, by the way. The big man changed a couple of jerseys through his playing career as he suited up for the Mavs and briefly for the Nets, before he ended his career in the Bobcats uniform. At the end of his career, the 7-foot big man would only tally a total of 2 points per game while grabbing less than 4 boards an outing in his 14 years playing in the NBA. Number 1, Kawami Brown. Considered to be one of the biggest busts in NBA history, Kawami Brown tops our list as one of the worst players to ever suit up in the NBA. When Michael Jordan personally handpicked Kawami Brown as the number 1 overall pick in the 2001 draft, everyone thought the Wizards would finally have a superstar to build around, or at least compete in a not-so-tough Eastern Conference. But it turns out that Michael Jordan's skills as a GM weren't on par with his skills that he had when he was still playing for the Bulls. In his rookie year, Brown would only average 4.5 points per game while playing 14.3 minutes on the court. Though he would experience a surge in scoring and rebounding in the next 2 years, Brown's career would dip quickly while playing 3 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. After his stint with the Lakers, he would never average double figures in points and rebounds during the remaining days of his playing career. and he would end up with a career average of just 6.6 points and 5.5 rebounds per game while shooting below 60% from the free throw line. There you have it, guys. If there's someone that I forgot to include on this list, make sure to let me know by dropping their names below. If you like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to our channel in order for you to be updated with the latest news surrounding the NBA and other NBA-related content.